Good evening. I wanted to read one devotional part in the Bible. It's just kind of where I had a pen in there marking the page, so I want to read that, and I can move the pen out. But I want to read Hebrews 11 a little bit, 11:3. I feel like this is one of those days where I was off track in a few different areas. Not horribly, just slightly not quite right. And then all day long, I felt like God was telling me all these things and teaching me all these things, or realigning me a little bit. Anyways, but one of the things I wanted to read about this, Hebrews 11:3. So Hebrews 11, sorry. Faith in action. Faith in action. Now, faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. This is what the ancients were commended for. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made of what was visible. So it's that speaking life. God spoke, right? By faith, Abel brought God a better offering than Cain did. By faith, this is faith in action, that's right. By faith, he was commended as righteous when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith, Abel still speaks, even though he is dead. Yeah, there's so much about that, about the words, speaking life literally into existence, from the spiritual into the physical. And then what we do with our words, because there's so much power in our words, that we have to be using our mouth and our words rightly, right, to be serving God with our words. Because if we're using our mouth and our words incorrectly, the pain and the damage is so great. And usually sometimes you want to get upset with the person, but oftentimes there's a spirit of, we'll just say an impure spirit or something going on behind that. And so that's where you have to love your enemies and pray for your enemies and forgive your enemies, because they're not your real enemy. Your enemy is the devil, right? And so you're in essence praying for the people who are more susceptible to that in a way, because it's that yucky stuff coming through them. It's not necessarily coming from them. And so you want to help them and forgive them and pray for them and be aware when that's happening. Because then what we create with what we sow in the spiritual can have an effect on the physical, right? Blah, blah, blah. All these people, so it's talking about Noah, Abraham, etc. All these people were still living by faith when they died. They did not receive the things they promised. They only saw them and welcomed them from a distance, admitting that they were foreigners and strangers on earth. People who say such things show that they are looking for a country of their own. If they had been thinking of the country they had left, they would have had opportunity to return. Instead, they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one. Therefore, God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. So interesting. Maybe we should read Hebrews soon. But, so love in action, faith in action, right? It's all about being doers of the word, which is so important, which is why I cannot stand it when people talk about it's not works righteousness. And maybe that's important for the people who were raised in a certain type of Christianity where they're scarred. We all have like church baggage of different types, and maybe they're like thinking that they have to like earn their salvation or do things the right way, and maybe those are the people that you're constantly hitting them over the head to tell them it's not works righteousness. But for the rest of us, where that was never an issue, it kind of gets old to hear it repeatedly, because it's like we already know. So I guess different things are important for different people, but so love in action, faith in action. And it's even like, I think of it, I'm trying to think of it lately, like even with like nutrition, because I know so much about nutrition and I don't live it out. And you can tell with the state of my health, like 50 years of not living it out, when I've known it since I was probably 14, 15 years old. I've studied thoroughly so many different things about like nutrition and health, but I don't put it into action, and it is literally killing me. It's the same thing with Christianity. You can study it till you're blue in the face. You can read the Bible all day long, but if you're not living it out, what's the point? You're not doing it. You're still gonna have trouble, right? It's the act of do faith in action, love in action, right? Christianity in action, knowing about nutrition and health and putting it into action, everything, all of it. This is really random. Let's read that one devotional part. I don't know when I flagged this with my little pen or how long this pen has been in my Bible. I have different parts flagged with different Post-its or whatever, but sometimes I just stick a pen in here. So this was Ephesians, so meeting the enemy. Read Ephesians 6:1 through 24. Let me just look at my notes really quick because I had some stuff written down. So yesterday I was really focused on changing my, I got this light over here that's like shining on my face. Wrong. Changing up how I do the YouTube stuff. And I have almost, I don't want to say I've changed my mind about that, but I'm going to move very slowly in that area because God had redirected me toward some things and away from other things. And I don't care who disagrees with that plan, but I just feel like there's certain things that like God would want, and there's certain things that the world would want. And if the world or people in the world are really happy about certain tweaks, it's probably the opposite of what God wants. So I might continue to learn more about the YouTube and get better at various skills, but that's not going to be my focus. I'm not going to get sidetracked with like, let me take that path too fast. Because the reality is this is working fine. And there's other things. What I did decide to get better at is talking to God first and having my time with God for that day first and praying about it first before I bother turning on the camera. If I haven't done that, then I should leave the camera off. That's where we're going to just leave it. That's the first improvement. We're going to stay with that for a while. Because now I have all these things to talk about. So I can deal with learning how to edit later. I'm not even going to worry about it. Anyway, let's hurry up. read this and be done. Meeting the enemy. Read Ephesians 6:1-24. The idea of the devil more often solicits smirks. I feel like we read this before. Solicits smirks than fear or caution in the world today. In his classic work, The Screwtape Letters, C.S. Lewis, there's that C.S. Lewis again, writes from the point of view of a senior demon, Screwtape. Although that's the second time I've heard about the Screwtape Letters in one day. Even though I heard about them before, like I know what they are. It's weird that this is the second time. I didn't know this was, I haven't read this today, but anyway, writes from the point of view of a senior demon, Screwtape giving advice to his protege Wormwood on how to influence his target. Screwtape tells Wormwood, the fact that devils are predominantly cosmic figures in the modern imagination will help you. If any faint suspicion of your existence begins to arise in his mind, suggest to him a picture of something in red tights and persuade him that since he cannot believe in that, it is an old textbook method of confusing them. He therefore cannot believe in you. What I don't love about C.S. Lewis and the Screwtape Letters and all this idea of like the way they talk about like the devil and stuff is it's very human. It's not in the Bible. This is some guy just wrote non-fiction. Oh, wait, fiction. Sorry. You're fiction. And it's a good like representation in a way, but it will also turn people away in a sense too. And again, so it's not, I think it's better to read about the devil in the Bible. So let's stop this for a sec. In the Bible, God is about creation, planting seeds, sowing, growing, giving life, breathing life, speaking life. We're supposed to do all of those things with power of the Spirit, right? The devil is about reaction. It's the opposite. If you take the word creation and the word reaction and mix up the letters, it's I believe the exact same words. I mean, the exact same letters, but it moved differently makes two completely different and opposite words. Now, the devil is more reaction and trying to get you to have a reaction, trying to get other people to have a reaction. And it's this spiral, a chain of events that's all very reactive. That's why I pray in the morning, God, guide my actions, guide my reactions, because I don't want to be in that spiral of hell, right? Triggered by the enemy. I want to be in the mindset of creation. And so what Jesus did is Jesus like stood firm against the devil. He just stayed planted and he spoke. What did he speak? Words of what? From scripture. He spoke holy words out of his mouth to counter the devil with his words. And he stood firm and he didn't have a reaction. And so that's that resist the devil and the devil will flee. Well, how do you resist? With the words of God, right? There's just so much power in words. But what do I have written down on here? Anyway, let's finish reading this and be done, because I realize none of this makes any sense to anybody but me. So let's just keep going. The Bible is clear that the devil is real, and his schemes can be traced back to Eden. Beyond our limited version lies a spiritual realm where the war for souls is waged. Jesus Christ has already won the ultimate victory, but battles still rage as Satan tries to make Christians and Christianity ineffective and impotent. Those battles play out in various arenas. Paul described them as rulers, authorities, powers of this dark world, and spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Spiritual warfare in unseen realms is as real as the battles waged here on earth. 100%. And I could tell you some stories. I may or may not ever tell them on here because it is the kind of thing that will make you sound like a crazy lunatic person. But I'm telling you, I have real stories about some stuff where it's like, I would never question that is not pure fact. Like, I don't care if other people haven't experienced it, they're lucky. But that's a thing. So I'm just saying, that's very real right there. There are also battles that occur within our thoughts, our relationships, our attitudes, and our everyday choices. If the devil can wear us down so that we snap at our children and belittle our husband or pass on a tidbit of gossip, he has weakened our witness. 100%. That is extremely true. We can talk about it a different day. For every battle we face, God provides us with a full set of spiritual armor. God's armor is based on truth and righteousness, faith and peace. He asks us to be armed with his attributes, not our own. Above all, we have prayer, which reaches into the spiritual realm and places the battle into the hands of the one who has already won the war. The presence of evil need not make us suspicious or fearful. We don't need to look for a demon behind every door, but we should be alert and prayerful so that we are aware of the devil's schemes when they come, and so we can fight the battles in the spiritual realm. That's very true. So again, an easy way to think about it is just take it back to the creation reaction, right? And look at always the fruit. Is what's going on creating something and producing peace and calm and love and unity? That's God. God's behind that. It's okay. Is what's going on creating discord and disunity and divides and reaction and gossip? That's the devil, right? Are people ignoring each other? Are people talking about each other? Are people believing the worst of other people? Is there tensions? Is there snapping and yelling and discord, right? Is there chaos? That's not God. And so, and when that's happening, then you'll react, right? And then someone else will react. And it's an easy way to spot what's going on. And then you can redirect, you can realign, you can be like, all right, this is not of God. Or their actions aren't of God, so I'm not going to get offended. I'm not going to get sad or mad or hurt or angry, and I'm not going to react. I can just observe what's going on over here and then pray for them and use my power, use my words, and use my peace to address the situation. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff that was on my mind today. Not the stuff about the devotional. I don't even know why my pen was in there. But I just wanted to kind of say, because yesterday I posted a video about how I was going to like change all these things. And then I pretty much woke up in the morning, ignore this, my wrist hurts. I pretty much woke up in the morning and had a lot of time with God throughout the day. Not saying I'm changing my mind about what I spoke about yesterday, but just prioritizing first things first, right? What are the God elements that have to be tweaked first? Not the worldly elements that actually might maybe never need to be tweaked. So, sorry, this is so random. Hope you have an awesome day. Bye.